la settima puntata di Radio Blast Twitch. Rock and roll, siamo ancora qui, stessi sfondi,
siamo ancora
stesso
qui alla settima puntata. Nonostante tutto, oggi che è una domenica, ma in realtà siamo il venerdì, non sapete perché ancora, ma sicuramente oggi è venerdì. Proprio Friday
13,
night.
Non è domenica 12, è venerdì 13, quindi...
Esattamente, è proprio un Friday night, scoprirete dopo anche il perché, però prendiamo un attimo anche il tempo prima per presentare chi siamo, perché ancora non ci conoscete, anche se ormai siamo arrivati bene alla settima puntata, quindi più o meno dovete aver capito le nostre coordinate. Poi cominciamo a presentare anche Andre, che è qua sotto, qua che lo vedete, insomma.
Ciao a tutti.
Già lo conoscete,
Ciao,
credo, e poi insomma introduciamo la serata, quindi vado velocissimo per non rompervi le scatole.
Rapido.
Esatto, innanzitutto io e Michael siamo qui a parlare perché siamo collegati a una trasmissione radio che si chiama Radio Blast, che va in onda il lunedì sera dalle 7 alle 8:30 su Radio Onde Furlane, che è una radio comunitaria del Friuli Venezia Giulia, che ha una discreta storia punk rock alle spalle. Noi ne raccogliamo decisamente, ne raccogliamo l'eredità e da un po' di anni stiamo andando avanti su questa riga, insomma, del punk. Ci trovate tranquillamente su Facebook, perché insomma è curioso, ma anche su Instagram basta cercare Radio Blast, però mettendo il moniker ROF, che sta per Radio Onde Furlane, perché Radio Blast in realtà è anche una trasmissione ultra cattolica che c'entra poco con noi.
Infatti.
Magari salutiamo, sono in ascolto, però d'altronde questo è.
Quindi Ben Weasel sarà contento, visto la sua svolta cattolica, noi un po' meno, però...
Un po' meno, anche perché magari vuoi ascoltare un po' di punk rock, ti senti la Santa Messa, diciamo che non è proprio la stessa cosa. Anche se forse a Ben Weasel piace, ma questo è un altro
magari porta loro in tribunale, non noi, quindi sì, sai tu.
Il prossimo guest dopo me è Jason V. Potete sentirlo, dai.
Sì, effettivamente. Michael, io ho detto anche tutto su chi
anche
siamo.
Perché le coordinate stanno passando qui sotto il banner, quindi introduciamo
l'onere di presentare anche la serata.
Onore, perché adesso abbiamo come ospite innanzitutto André, lo ringraziamo soprattutto per aver permesso questa prima puntata Twitch in inglese, non ancora finché non arriva l'ospite, però intanto abbiamo Andrea di iBuy Records, nonché bassista ai Ratbones, quindi se vuoi introdurti tu, Andrea.
Sì, dai, allora prima di tutto grazie a voi due per averci invitato. Io faccio un pochino da tramite con i Jasons e niente, io sono Andrea, molti di voi mi conoscono, qualcuno no, però fa niente. E fondamentalmente sono un appassionato di musica punk rock che da 11 anni, e oltre a suonare in diversi gruppi nel corso degli anni per la scena punk rock italiana, e ho a Buy Records, che è un'etichetta discografica che ho fondato. Etichetta discografica è un parolone, però ecco, è una piccola etichetta che ho fatto nascere 11 anni fa per iniziare fondamentalmente a seguire le mie band, perché mi è sempre piaciuto avere un pochino il polso della situazione in generale sulla produzione, sull'uscita di un disco, eccetera, eccetera. E poi a mano ho iniziato ad aiutare le band degli amici e band che mi piacevano, e poi sai, l'appetito viene mangiando.
C'è la scalata sociale.
Ho iniziato a fare band dell'estero, contatti in giro suonando, cosa nasce cosa, insomma adesso a Buy Records è al 27esimo disco con quello dei Jason, quindi comunque iniziano a essere non male. Tanti dischi sono andati bene, quindi tutto sommato vuol dire che ho sempre scelto, diciamo, abbastanza bene le mie uscite, quindi sono abbastanza contento. E poi contestualmente l'attività principale, quella che mi piace di più, è suonare. E ho iniziato, diciamo, da ragazzino suonando il basso, con una serie di gruppi locali con cui fondamentalmente mi sono fatto le ossa, perché non ho mai studiato veramente con un insegnante il basso, però avevo la fortuna di suonare con un gruppo di amici giovani, ma erano tutti bravi, fondamentalmente andavano tutti a scuola, e quindi sono riuscito a rubare.
Pian piano.
Poi c'era mio zio che è stato un bassista semiprofessionista per 40 anni, quindi mi ha insegnato proprio le cose base, che sono quelle necessarie per fare il punk rock, ecco.
I 3 accordi 3.
Esatto.
Poi non potevi deludere lo zio, quindi
hai fatto tutti i dischi di Ramones.
Come, scusa?
Cioè, 3 accordi, 4 quarti, hai fatto tutti i dischi di Ramones.
Esatto.
Cosa serve di più nella
Poi
musica? Quello è dal massimo.
Esatto. Poi nel 2011 ho iniziato, qualche anno prima mi ero trasferita a Milano, e in quel periodo, diciamo, un pochino mollato la musica perché non conoscevo nessuno, avevo perso, cioè ripartivo da zero fondamentalmente. E poi niente, nel 2011 ho iniziato a suonare con i Monelli, il gruppo di Torino, mi hanno trovato un po' a caso, sono stati 3 anni veramente divertenti, nel senso che comunque non abbiamo fatto tantissimi concerti, ma tutti i concerti erano veramente una grande festa, e mi sono divertito parecchio in quel periodo, e subito dopo ho iniziato un po' casualmente a suonare con i Ratbones, nel senso che ci eravamo conosciuti a una data che avevamo fatto Monelli e Ratbones insieme ad Imperia, se non sbaglio, e loro mi erano subito piaciuti. Poi da lì siamo rimasti in contatto. Giuliano Jay, che è l'attuale secondo chitarrista della band, per motivi personali, e che suonava il basso in quel periodo, si era dovuto allontanare dalla band. Allora mi hanno detto: dai Andre, vieni, ci dai una mano con qualche data. Io sì, vabbè, dai, una data ogni tanto, va bene, vediamo qua e là, e poi sono 10 anni che suono con loro.
Rimasi inguaiato.
Esatto.
Ma quindi ai By Record sei solo tu?
Sì,
cioè non hai collaboratori?
Allora, nel corso degli anni mi stanno rimproverando che non parliamo in inglese.
Finché non arriva l'ospite, in inglese non parti.
Esatto. No, allora, nel corso degli anni, quando fondamentalmente lavoravo, prima era solo una webzine, c'era Sara Ramon,
Ok.
che collaborava con me. Poi ci sono state altre persone che nel corso degli anni mi hanno dato una mano nell'attività, però poi alla fine, per un motivo o per l'altro, si sono un po' allontanati, senza, cioè, ovviamente restando amici e tutto. Semplicemente poi su queste cose è una cosa fatta per divertimento e per passione, quindi magari ci sta nel momento che ci si allontana. Adesso a By Records è una one man band, come mi piace dire, sono io che porto avanti tutto. Poi c'è la mia compagna che ovviamente mi aiuta con le rotture di palle. Si possono dire parolacce? Sì,
tranquillamente. Oh, eccolo qua il nostro ospite, lo vedo nel backstage, quindi lo facciamo entrare.
Ok, vai.
Venghino, signori, Jason V, Dave Jasons.
Yo.
Hello, man. Hello.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, thanks.
Yo,
how are you?
Thanks for having me. Sorry, I use a Mac, so trying to get like hooked up here had me a little bit fucked up, but I think I got it. Plus, I was just fashionably late.
That's cool.
It's okay.
Nice to see you again, man.
Likewise, Andrea. Good to see you, man. I see you're in that little loft where we recorded that G.G. Allen cover. And
yeah. I gotta mix that track and put it out.
Yo, I miss you, and I miss your country, and that was the most magical time I had last year. It was amazing.
Yeah, we gotta do it again, man.
Yeah, 100%. That was I talk about that. Me and Hollywood talk about that all the time, man. Absolutely.
We were talking before you joined us that I don't know if we can say that right now, that we are starting to plan to book Italy or European tour for the Jasons. somewhere, somehow. I don't know exactly when, but maybe next year. I don't know. Let's see.
It makes sense to me. You know, my only stipulation is that we have to make it coincide with the show from the greatest Italian band of all time, Mortuary Drake. I mean,
Yeah.
come to your country and not see your greatest export, you know.
Yeah, we can ask. We can ask if they can open the show for the Jasons.
Yo, maybe the other way around. Maybe the other way around. Oh, look at this here. Check this out. I got. I'm completely surrounded. There we go by mortuary at all times. They watch over me.
I think you are probably the biggest fan around.
I think so. I think I'll take that title at least in terms of in the United States. I even got Mortuary Drake patches sitting all over the place.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
So, Jason, thank you for being here on our Twitch. Would you like to introduce the band to the Italian supporters, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely, man. My name is Jason fucking V. I'm from a band called the Jasons. At the core of our band, we are a Ramones core band. We wouldn't be doing this without the Ramones, but we also wouldn't be doing this without Kiss. So we like to take and blend the two, very much like bands like the McCrackens have done in the past, but we do it better. And we are in the horror punk scene by force. I don't want anybody to think we're a horror punk band because we're not. We're a Ramones core band. We wear hockey masks and sing about some Friday the 13th stuff, but we're not a horror punk band. We're a Ramones core band. So this is where we want to be. We don't want to be hanging out with Michael Graves and all those guys.
Well, I guess, yeah.
We gotta talk about the Misfits maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you say your band is a mix between Ramones and Kiss, obviously, but I guess if you go deeper, you can hear all the Lookout bands, especially the melodic period of Screeching Weasel, but also the insanity of the Hanson Brothers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would say if you're asking me like kind of what the main inspiration in terms of that stuff is, I'm gonna probably say that it's like for me the bands that meant the most in that like Lookout Records scene. I would probably say yes, the later Screeching Weasel stuff. You know, like earlier Screeching Weasel stuff. I like it a lot, but there was a point when Ben Weasel really zeroed in on the idea of like what is Ramones core, where
yeah,
I've Jughead say like Weasel wanted to start making everybody wear leather jackets, and he wanted to take all those elements and make like almost make it more of a Ramones core thing instead of a Ramones inspired thing. So that was important to me. Teen Punks and Heat was important to me. But honestly, what blew my mind, changed my entire life was when I heard the Lillingtons for the first time.
okay.
That for me, Cody Templeman is the greatest pop punk songwriter, the greatest pop punk guitarist. That was transformational for me, big time. And it was that Back Channel Broadcast record is just to me the perfect Ramones core record. I love that record.
Yeah.
Plus, he's a metalhead too, so with some affinity, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. And we've chatted a little bit about our love for heavy metal and black metal and all of those things, and it certainly is. I think that's the element that I picked up on it too. His leads are very catchy, but they've got a little bit more of a melodic twist. And that record changed my life. The Riverdales also changed my life. I mean, I'm a big fan of putting yourself in a box instead of having free reign to just play whatever you want. The Riverdales said, how can we really put this into a like Ramones core box and work within that? And I respect
Yeah.
that bands like that,
Yeah, it's also because the Riverdales, for example, took the same three chords, just changing the orders and making great music that sound totally different. And they really taught to the people that you don't need a million of chords to make a good songs. That's the lesson. The second lesson, of course, after the Ramones, because the Ramones did the same thing 20 years before them, but the Riverdales took to the next step and make it sound a little bit more modern, but also very cool. That's it, in my opinion.
And when I, would listen to the Riverdales, honestly, I always felt like I was getting a new Ramones record.
Yeah.
And that was so like, because when when I got into my probably most intense phase with the Ramones, things were basically over, and it was like, it was sad because I like a band that's vibrant. Well, I found someone like the Riverdales and Gods Among Men, the fucking Huntingtons, who basically making Ramones core that was just very targeted. And so I really appreciate that sort of approach. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the Huntingtons, I think it's probably one of the most underrated band in the genre, because I think they are great. I don't know if it's something that there are some people that still don't love them because the religion stuff.
Yeah,
that they were always a little bit close to how was the label, Tooth and Nail, maybe. Yeah, Tooth and Nail, but they are just amazing. I still remember, I have vivid memories of them. Last year they played Punk Rock Raduno. I got the flu that day, but I was actually it was I just watched them and the Beatnik Termites during the Raduno because I got the flu. I don't know if it was COVID or something else. It was like that moment, but I was there and they really blew my mind. They are just amazing.
I discovered them. I grew up in like a Christian household where my parents were very Christian, but never forced me to be a Christian or do anything. But I spent a lot of time in Bible bookstores, and so I picked up this Christian music magazine with the Huntingtons on the cover.
Really?
Yeah, and I was reading and I heard them, Cliffy, who, if you've ever met Cliffy Huntington, is exactly who you think he is. He's a Ramones core guy 24/7. But in that article, he was saying, well, I'm probably the biggest Ramones fan in the band because I have all the albums on vinyl and blah, blah, blah. So I checked them out because of that. They quickly became my favorite band. I say all the time, like, in so many ways, they're my Ramones. Because as much as I love the Ramones, the Huntingtons showed me that you could distill that down and like make it a genre. And so when we played with the Huntingtons on our first, their first like reunion show, I was in the audience and I'm like singing Rock and Roll Girl and I was fucking crying. No joke. I was moved by that because I was like, this band is the reason why I also play this music, and like, it was just a nice full circle. A few years, I don't know, 10 years before that, when they broke up, Mikey Huntington's wife sold their tour banner on eBay, and I bought it. And so when we played with them, we used duct tape and put our name over their banner and hung it for our banner. And we're like, hey.
Do you still have it?
I do. Yeah, I still have it. It's down in my basement, and I got them all to sign it. And they were just like, we can't believe that somebody paid $150 for this banner. And I was like, yo, I would have paid so much more.
That's nice. Yeah, I know that you played many times with the Huntingtons, and I guess that they are also a great live band.
Yeah. I got to fill in. Josh was having a baby, so I got to fill in on guitar for the Huntingtons for one show, and it was like Mongoloid, like Make-A-Wish Foundation. I was like, so.
Did you play with the mask?
Yeah, I played with the mask and the leather jacket, and I feel like that night their like talent level went down, but the fucking sex appeal went way up. I mean, face it. I mean, they needed this in their band, but You know, I'm just waiting on Josh to quit, and then I'm gonna take his spot, or Cliffy. It's hard to replace Cliffy, but you know.
Yeah, I think Cliffy has the best right hand in the punk rock music. You know, he's yeah. Also, I don't know. I never spent time with him in the bathroom, but
Old school training.
yeah, but his downstroke, man, it's amazing. He's fucking fast, and I was watching at him during the Raduno, and I was like looking at his right hand. He was so fast, man. Was incredible. Great band.
I've seen a couple guitar players who like transcend the ability of like two people, and it's like, yeah, Cliffy is one, and I can like just watch his hand with that like very like, I don't know. The other guy is Dave Brown sound from Sum 41. We went on tour with his other band, Black Cat Attack.
Okay.
And obviously, that dude is like a legitimate rock star. He travels in a tour bus. But I'm like watching him as we played with his other band, and I've never seen anyone's like hand so fluidly down picking and so like, if you ever get a chance, watch a video of this guy. His picking hand is just like that of what you would expect somebody who's been to those levels. Like, he's not like grinding, he's not killing himself. All the guys that do it the best, it's like very fluid and very light, and like it's just like you can tell when some people have that like next level talent type shit. Got it. Dave Brown sound has it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Of course, also Josh is very talented, but Cliffy right hand is something amazing for me. You know.
Yeah, man. Josh, I'll tell you where Josh brings so much to that band. It's in all the like super guitar solo talented shit. A lot of those like really good like more lead guitar things are Josh. That guy. We did that Von Erichs record, and he did some solos on that, and it was like I sent them to him, and then 25 minutes later he sent me solos that are better than anything I could ever write, that he just fucking figured out, like no problem.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So guys, the main reason we're here is the first pressing on vinyl of Get Sued by the gentleman here, Andrea, over here in Europe. What I wanted to know is how did it come up in the first place? The idea of mashing up the Misfits lyrics on the Ramones songs.
So it was one. This is not a joke or a story or a tale. Like, it happened because we were lazy. So basically, we had gotten asked to play what was actually our first local show here where we live, and so we didn't want to say no, but it was a Misfits tribute show. Now, there was a point in my life, boys, when the Misfits were very important to me. I would never say that they weren't like an important band, but they were only important to me until I discovered the Ramones, and then I just threw that out the window. But so we agreed to do it. We thought, yeah, no problem. We only have to learn 4 songs. We can do that, no problem. Well, we didn't. We were lazy. We never even practiced. We never tried to learn, and it was the night before. And we're like, well, we either drop off the show or we figure something out. Luckily, every one of us knew numerous Ramones songs. So I told the dudes, I was like, all right, figure out what Ramones songs we know, and I'll just try to figure out how to fit, Misfits lyrics, and it'll just be like, hey, fuck you to all these people. So it worked, and you can go on like our YouTube channel, and the footage of that show is there, where I'm just like,
okay.
Yeah, it's called the Jason's Ruin a Ramones tribute show. And so, we did it, and I think we ended up doing 3 or 4 songs, and it was just like we learned that, like, hey ho, let's go. You can easily take that out and take the lyrics from Return of the Fly, Helene de l'Ombre, which is the name that you would never think could fit anywhere else, but fit perfectly. And so we did it live, and people were kind of confused and kind of pissed off. But every once in a while, people would be like, you know, you guys should record that. Like, you guys should record that weird mashup. And then, you know, years later, I think that was in 2013, 2014, maybe. Years later, 2017, we had extra money in the band fund. And our drummer kept saying, man, let's just record that fucking Ramones Misfits shit. Why not? And so we did. We extended it a little bit. We added more songs. And I mean, it was not this grand orchestrated thing. Some of the songs on the way to the studio, I was like figuring out how to put the lyrics in there. It was just very like thrown together. But yeah, it just kind of happened, man. It happened because of laziness. And when we originally marketed it, we had this whole gimmick, like, we can't tell you what we're selling you because of legal reasons. Well, that would all come true in 2023. But then it was just a gimmick. We sold the record where no one could see the cover. We sold the T-shirts where no one could see what the shirts were. It was just like a gimmick. And we never did get sued, but we recently got, you know what happened. But so
I know.
It came to pass.
That's cool.
Yeah. But you can tell us the whole story, because I don't know if all the listeners know exactly what happened. That we are like afraid of somebody inside the Misfits.
Yeah. So, like I said, the original release was CD and T-shirt.
Yeah.
And that went off without a hitch. But like I said, when we sold it, we didn't show the cover. Can I show the record? I have the record.
Yeah, you can, obviously.
Let me see here. So, wrong record. Hold on, boys. Let me see. So, there we go. So obviously, this is the album cover, and this is what got us in trouble. When we originally sold the CD, it was blurred out. So all of a sudden we partner with iBuy Records, with Mom's Basement. And the reason, it was kind of like my choice, you know, like John Prophet from Mom's Basement was like, what do you want to put out? And this was not really the record I wanted to put out. I wanted to put out Get Fucked. That's our Master of Puppets. But I saw that Bobby Ramone record. And, you know, Bobby Ramone, for anybody that doesn't know, is Bob Marley and Ramones mixed. And I was kind of pissed off. I was like, oh, everybody's saying this is so great, but we did it first. And then I saw CJ Ramone was like, oh, this is so great. And I was like, hey, wait a minute now, hold on. So I was like, I want some attention. So I decided, let's put this out. As soon as the vinyl starts, you know, being marketed that we're going to sell it, and it's clear that we're going to make money, mysteriously, it starts disappearing from all streaming services without, no one was telling me anything. It's just disappearing. And then finally, all photos of it disappear from Instagram. And I finally get a cease and desist order from Cyclopean Music, which is Jerry Only's brand, after he stole the Crimson Ghost image, and then stole this font, which he called horror font, which we know this is from the Crimson Ghost serial. He didn't create it.
Yeah.
This is from Famous Monsters of Filmland. He didn't create that, but he trademarked those. So what's happened is his lawyers sent cease and desist orders saying we're not allowed to use this image or this font because it's diluting the market and confusing people who may think that this is a Misfits record. So it didn't get taken down for the music because I don't know. It's, you know, how do you take it down because it's Ramones and Misfits mashed together, but it got taken down for this cover. So that's what happened. So we ended up having to market it like this. And yeah, man, it's gone from all streaming media, supposedly, I guess, until we change the cover.
So it's only on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp has finally so what Bandcamp did was they took down the cover, but they left the music up. So that's the only place you can listen to it now. And you know, for record collectors, let's be honest, this is never going to be released in this version again, right? The next version of this, we're going to have to change the cover. So I was kind of excited. We obviously wanted to get sued because that's publicity, but I'm also excited because now these are really super collectible because the next one won't have this.
But don't say it too loud or record flippers will go mad.
Oh,
I saw your post on Instagram and it's insane.
Yeah, I think almost it should be sold out in the USA, right?
Yeah, it's sold out over here completely as far as distros go. I'm afraid to say this because I know a million people will message me, but we have a few copies that we're taking for shows only, for tour only. Because the way I always like to do it, if I work with a record label, I don't want to sell our records online until the record label completely sells out. I think it's like conflicting markets. We can sell this at shows. But now I just want this to be like when we have hardly any, right? But the ones we have, we're gonna sell at shows, and yeah, man, it's cool to know that a record sold. It sold out on day one from Mom's Basement.
Yeah,
that was cool to know. But yeah, record flippers are gonna do their thing. I don't sweat it too much.
It's getting sold out also here. That's all Jason stuff that I'm shipping during the next days. It was amazing, that all the people. I think lately, because I have your stuff in the store since you came here to visit me.
Yeah.
And it was selling good, but since we put it out, Get Sued, I don't know if it's related to this Gerioli affair or what, but the people are starting to buy everything from you, and I think I need a refill from you because it's amazing, getting orders every day, and I'm not so used to pack records almost every night. It's like my girlfriend is kind of bored that I spend all the days here in my back cave here, where I spend most of the days packing records for the Jasons.
Yo, and that's cool. I wonder, like with the Italian scene, and I got a chance to see a little bit of it when we were over there, and I mean the way Italian Ramones core approaches it is in a very like respectful, traditional way. Bands like your band, Ratbones, Tough, the Manges, they very much approach it in a very straightforward way that I always appreciate. But like, I wonder if Italian punks who like that kind of music, if they see this, I don't know that they immediately think that this is going to be a Ramones core record. And I think I'm hoping what happens is, because I know, when you dress like this, people think you're a heavy metal band.
The first time I was talking with Mike and Andrea before you joined us. The first time when I got familiar with the Jasons was when I saw the first album you did with the End of Century cover art. I said, I gotta listen to this band, because it was, the Jason gimmick, the mask, the Ramones, paying homage to the Ramones. And I said, this band is really great, and I told them also the story. We were doing something together in 2016, right? Yeah, when we are gonna do it, because I also found the bonus track that we did together. You remember that Ludo from the Ratbones was actually singing a song together with the Jason. It was can I say the song?
Yeah.
It's Lonely Bean. He was singing on Lonely Bean.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's something we didn't do it. It's ready, and who knows, maybe in the later we are gonna work again together and putting out a new records, a joint venture between by Records, Mom Basement again, and the Jasons, because we are I can say that we are good friends, and we love to work together, and it's everything is smooth with no problem, no beef, nothing to argue, and it's just simply and amazing. It's a pleasure for me to work with a band like these guys, because they are amazing human beings, even if they kill people, you know.
Yeah.
And they are great musicians. They have just great songs, so it's the perfect fit for my small, dumb, and little label.
No, we appreciate it. And honestly, man, Looney, what happened was you had messaged me and just I think you were looking for copies for your distro.
Yeah.
And you said, well, let's do like an Italian version. And you were like, yeah. And I was like, let's get, someone from your band. And then I swear I just forgot. But here's the cool thing, and I don't know, we haven't really talked about this, but the next venture I think that me and John Prophet were talking about doing with you was the re-release of this record, which again, I don't know if I can I show boobs on your show? Will we get in trouble?
No problem.
We love boobs.
Okay.
No problem.
So this record is like our Master of Puppets record. So, but it's way sold out. People are flipping it for $200, which is crazy. It's not worth that. But our next one is hopefully this with the three of us, us, you guys, Mom's Basement, and Looney Bin is on this. So my thought is, let's do that version of Looney Bin as the exclusive track on this, because there's room.
Sounds great. I think I still have the hidden track. No, it wasn't a hidden track. I think he was just backing up. Something like that. I don't remember if I sent you back then that track, but I have the original version. We can do it again, because it's something cool that have like an extra exclusive edition. And I think I should have also I don't remember, man, if we did an exclusive artwork for that album or what. I remember it was something with a new artwork with something claiming being from Italy, maybe.
I think we were I don't know if we ever went forward with it, but like my thought was, I always like when you order like a record from another country and it has a different cover and it has, because as a collector, obviously I'm a record collector too, and like I want all the different versions. And again, for me, my favorite type, I mean, I'm obviously a metalhead, right? But Italian releases fill my collection because a lot of my favorite bands are from there. So when you had said like, oh, I was like, yeah, I want like the Italian special edition, because your country music wise, not just with metal, Ramones core too, but like I got a connection there. Now we've been there, we even have more of a connection there. So I was like, yeah, that would be fucking cool, man. Let's do that. So I don't know. For me as a record collector, it's cool to track down versions of a record that you want that come from another country. I mean, you order shit from Japan and it gets there and it's a cool Obi strip and stuff on it. Like as a record collector, that stuff is cool. So, why not let people try to track down the cool, like, foreign editions or whatever,
Yeah, makes sense.
I have some nerdy question now. Obviously, musically speaking, the Ramones core fans and the punk rock fans accepted you, but the fans of the franchise, I mean, outside the punk rock world, how did they approach your band? And did you ever get to play to Comic-Cons or a situation like that?
So we probably back in, I want to say 2016 or something, maybe 2017, we got to play a Horror Hound convention, which is a big horror and pop culture convention here. And it was interesting, man. We thought initially like, oh wow, like it's just we're gonna automatically be interested in what we do because of the horror thing. But even when we did that, we had a booth and we were like meeting horror fans and stuff. We still found that the people that ended up coming up to us were punk rockers. And so we tended to meet people who like kind of knew what was up before. Now, this year, at the end of this month, on the 24th, we're playing another Horror Hound. And I mean, things have changed for us a lot. Obviously, we're not famous by any means, but more people know who we are now. And so,
got bigger. So,
yeah. And, you know, it's like, I think now just people are more aware. So it'll be interesting to see how people receive us this time versus then. But as far as the fans go, you know, we were on the Friday the 13th puzzle game soundtrack, so we got that connection. But even for us, man, I'll be honest, we're not huge Friday the 13th fans. Like I've seen every movie. I probably know most of the actors' names, but it's not necessarily something where I watch them every day. That's not my favorite slasher. For me, it was the idea of not so much like I'm Jason, but it was like, I don't know if you guys know like Trailer Park Boys.
yeah.
So my thought about when we started the band was there's basically just a bunch of really terrible assholes hiding their faces under Jason masks, and we're like Trailer Park Boys. So, you know, I'm not like obsessed with horror. I don't want us to be scary. We're not trying to be scary. We're not trying to. It's like I think a lot of horror fans, that's where maybe the disconnect is, because I've had people say like, "Oh, you should kill a girl on stage, or you should come out with a chainsaw," and I'm like, "Well, number one, he doesn't use a chainsaw." But it's also like that's not what we're trying to do. Like we're sort of like you know, the idea was when I first found the Ramones, I thought they were mentally retarded brothers. And so it's like Jason is kind of that. So what if they were just the Jasons? You know, I don't know. So I think horror fans probably want us to be a little more serious, and we're like a satire of a lot of things. You know, we're a satire of marketing. We're a satire of American politics. We're a satire of all kinds of stuff. And so it, you know, it's been interesting. Like I would say, you know, I think people expect us to be more like horror nerds than we are, but we're really just punk rock nerds. And this mask with a leather jacket was too good of an image to pass up on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I wanted to ask you what was the most underrated movies of a franchise.
Number 5 is my favorite, obviously. I think that's I don't know if it's underrated. I meet a lot of people that like it, but it's underrated in that because it's not really Jason, it's imposter Jason. I always thought that was the best one. The director was a porno director. The kills were good. The characters were good. So I like that one a lot. And I would also say Jason X is pretty fun. You know, it's like it's a sci-fi original movie is what it feels like. But
it's the one in the space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheesy and it's like a comedy, but I like that one a lot too. The one that I hate the most is Freddy versus Jason. I think it's terrible marketing bullshit. But yeah, man, I think overall it's a really good series though. But my favorites are like the first 6, maybe the first.
Okay.
Those early ones are the best to me. Yeah, I like those a lot.
I think Fred. Sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was talking about false Jasons, and it's a perfect segue to this thing you did with the Menzingers. I mean, they didn't respond to the dissing, but was it because they portrayed Jasons as a loser in a kind of way in the video? Or
yeah, absolutely, man. When we were starting out, the Menzingers released that video for their song "I Don't Want to Be an Asshole Anymore," and so when I heard that, I was like, man, these guys they got Jason wearing a flannel shirt, and you know, our approach has always been, if you punch upwards and attack bands that are more famous than you, which is why I've been picking on Teenage Bottle Rocket lately. If you attack bands that are more famous than you and they punch down, well, then you get publicity. If they don't say anything, then you can be like, hey, they're a pussy. They don't want to respond. So it's a win-win. But we decided to start picking on the Menzingers, and so we wrote that song, I Want to Be an Asshole, as a response, which ended up being the most popular song we have. It'll be the song that is the most popular forever. I know that. And, you know, so it just, they never responded. And I wish they would have, but I get why they didn't, because, you know, some low level trolls aren't worth responding to. But I also, and the Menzingers are good songwriters, right? I mean, very good songwriters, but I hate their mentality. I hate the fact that they're like, yeah, we're just cool, normal friends wearing flannel shirts and being normal and just playing music that we love about coming of age. To me, I think you need to. Johnny Ramone wouldn't have that shit, man. Johnny Ramone would say you got to put on your fucking commando uniform and go out there and face the crowd and not turn your back and be a fucking badass. So Menzingers are a good band, but their approach sucks, and they need to get a little fucking razzle dazzle in their image.
Yeah, I agree. They are just, I don't like them at all. You know, it's not my cup of cake. But it's just, they don't have, in my opinion, the punk rock attitude, you know, to play this kind of music. I know most of my friends are big fan of them. I have seen them live, and to me, they are a good rock band, but don't call it punk to me, you know.
Yeah, and you know, like, if I, you know, we could speculate what makes punk rock, and there's a lot of things that you could say, like, this makes you punk, this makes you punk. For me, it's that if you don't have an axe to grind in your music, then to me that's not punk rock. And so that's the thing with every Jason's release, I got to figure out who my enemy is and what axe I have to grind. So like when we did Get Fucked, I was mad at everybody. I was mad at like the PC punks. I was mad at people doing Kickstarters. On the next record, Blood in the Streets, I was mad at everybody because we finally like rose above, and I wanted to say fuck you. And on the next record, I'm mad at fake Satanists who like to like put upside down crosses and like pretend to be scary, like hail Satan, pet kitties, drink coffee, black craft cult, all that bullshit. So on our next record, we're going to be super fake Satanists and just like pretend to be Satanists, but it's only to make money. And so I'm trying to like make people who consider themselves real Satanists mad by being a fake Satanist and making money. So like we got all this, like, hold on a minute. We got all this like dollar sign satanic imagery on our gear for the next record. I can show you guys some of our guitar player's new mask has the upside down crosses. We're doing a little Motley Crue vibe. These, no one's ever seen these before for our new record. So we're just trying to troll. It's like, for me, punk rock is figuring out who your enemy is and always targeting them. And if you don't have an enemy, just find one. Just pick one. Somebody mentioned Masked Intruder in the chat. Yeah, man, they're our enemy. Fuck them. Why? I don't know. Let's fight them. I don't know.
I think they are over. They are not playing anymore. Finally, maybe for you.
Yeah, I mean,
but I guess, yeah, punk rock thing is to piss off people. Somehow, this thing with the Menzingers reminded me, even if it wasn't a proper dissing, the situation between Sloppy Seconds with "I don't want to be homosexual" and Screeching Weasel replying with "I want to be homosexual," and basically they were just pissing off people.
Yeah. Yeah, and oh man, and you know that "I Want to Be a Homosexual" song is such a perfect. You're right. It's a perfect example because Ben Weasel. You gotta remember, Ben Weasel was singing that at a time when a lot of hardcore bands and punk didn't get along, and he was basically saying like, "Hey, why don't you guys just admit it? You want to blow each other. You're not hardcore bros. Like, you want to fuck each other." And he would sing that song naked. And like, you know, that was at a time, like, it's so safe now. It's very easy to go up and sing a pro like gay LGBTQ song now because you're safe. But Ben Weasel was not safe when he would sing that song. Even though Ben's not gay, he knew that there were a lot of homophobic people in that scene.
Yeah.
And so he was just trying to piss them off. And like, I mean, it takes real fucking balls to get up there and sing that back in the day. Same thing with Joe Queer in You're Tripping, where he says, I hate white power, I hate your band. That takes fucking balls to sing that back when he sang that, you know. Same thing with being called the Queers. Like, the roots of Ramones core are very much like, it's never been a super political thing, but in terms of like not being afraid to piss people off, it's totally there, you know. It's like, it's totally there. So
I guess it's more political than singing slogans. So
yeah, man, it's about like your approach and your attitude, and this genre has always had it. We just didn't need to like make it everything we did, you know. Like, it's much more clever than something like Anti-Flag or whatever, which, by the way, Anti-Flag, that's a fucking gimmick band. I mean, it's a gimmick. And maybe they believe in that stuff. I'm not saying they don't have, like, that's not the political views, but let's be honest. Anti-Flag exists for the angry kid who just went to college the first year and found out he hates the government. That's why they exist.
Perfect words.
Yeah.
Always a perfect analysis from your side.
You know, that's what I do.
So going back to your metalhead roots, I'm totally open to different genres. I sing in a hardcore band, but listen to post-punk, Britpop, whatever. But I guess there are some basic Ramones punk rock fans that don't get that there are hardcore fans that you can listen other stuff like that. Did you ever get, I don't mean trouble, but I mean some controversy about this?
I don't think so. I've ran into a lot of people who cross over, you know, both sides. It's interesting, you know, we try to mix a little bit of like metal into our music. Not a lot. I mean, honestly, when we put out, I'll bring it back out here. When we put out Blood in the Streets, because we're wearing leather and it has a very heavy metal vibe, it was really interesting because a lot of people were like, man, the Jasons really like wrote a hair metal record. But we wrote a pop punk record and then told everybody we were going to do like a hair metal record. And they just like subliminally bought into it. But the only thing I heard was, and if I'm misquoting this reviewer, when we put out our 7-inch on Mom's Basement, it was called Killikami for Mommy. It was us and the Black Russians.
Okay.
The reviewer, we did a song that had more of like a heavy thrashy vibe, and I think it was called That's Good Enough for Me, I think was the reviewer. But he was like, it sounds a little too sloppy and melodic for my taste. And I was like, that's called thrash, my friend. You know. But so we haven't really gotten too much heat for it. I've actually met a lot of people who I like connected with because of like they also like heavy metal or whatever. The other thing is, because that's kind of my primary genre that I listen to, if somebody asks me if I like a band that I don't like, if I'm trying to be nice, I'll be like, I don't know, I just fucking listen to heavy metal. I don't fucking know. And then I don't got to be like, yeah, that band blows. So, yo, hold on 1 second. I got to plug in my computer. So
okay.
I'm a jackass. Hold on.
Ok.
Beh, dai, sta andando bene. È molto...
Sì. Dai. Dario Argento. He's a big fan.
Boom. All right. Yes, big Dario Argento fan, and that was the only word that I knew that felt like it was Italian. So I just said that to everybody when I was over there.
Yeah, there was another one you said always while you were here.
Scimmia, Dario Argento, Sperma, Sbora, Focaccia. That's my Italian right there.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, it's enough to come again, you know, to come back.
Yeah,
and maybe play with the whole band and play.
Yes, yo, we would absolutely love to, man. We thought we were gonna get invited to Raduno, but we ain't heard back yet. It was like we heard a little something, and then it didn't happen. I don't know if COVID shit went down, or maybe they just got better bands.
We are gonna make it. Don't worry. We just need to plan properly, release, work on that. I think we can make it, whatever, Raduno or just a tour together. We are gonna make it.
We wanna play with Ratbones, and we want to play with Tough. Is Tough still a band? I'm a big Tough fan.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are still a band. They are not playing since COVID time, I think, because Chris, the main singer, that he's also my tattoo artist.
Yeah.
He did most of my tattoos. He reunited with his whole band, the Stinking Polecats.
Yeah.
So he's more focused on the Stinking Polecats. They were like during the 90s, where between the biggest band in the new wave of the Raduno is scared of the jazz. Maybe.
Yeah, I have. Let me see if I still have it here. I actually just got. Where is it? It may not be on my shelf. Anyway, I just got the new Stinking Polecats record. Yeah, I don't know where it went, but John Prophet from Mom's Basement always tells me when something cool comes out that I would like. I can't find it, but he'll always be like, "Yo, this is a punk record you would like." And he told me about Stinking Polecats, and I was like, "I don't like that name. I probably won't like it." I was wrong. That record's fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because I will tell you something. It's because during the 90s in Italy, when all this new wave of punk rock started, all the band names were just stupid band names, with meaningless, just stupid. Yeah, we have tons of good bands, like the Retarded.
Yes.
You will never call a band Retarded in 2023 right now.
No, not at all.
I just saw a couple of days ago people getting pissed because there is a band called Retarded. So what about a love song for the Retarded, man? It's like one of the best records ever in the genre, and you get pissed because of a band naming like that because of their record, and all the bands in Italy during the 90s had just stupid names, I think it was like a competition to get the dummiest name band, so probably that's why they called Stinking Polecats back then.
But the music was so good, is so good, because the music is still there. And the band before they Retarded was called Home Alone. And they did a split 7-inch with the Stinking Polecats when they began. And it's a great one.
During the 90s in Italy, for me, just looking at that, because of course I was too young back then, it was Manges, Retarded and Stinking Polecats. They were like the best band going around during that time, So after that, there were tons of good bands. And of course, after the mighty Senza Benza, they were like the first band that started it all in Italy. Without them, I don't know what would have happened in Italy with the punk rock. They were the first one. You can imagine it was because in Italy during the late 80s and early 90s, it was all about the hardcore, like the strong hardcore kids doing drugs and stuff in the squads and stuff like that. So you can imagine when the Senza Benza started, with their poppy sound, with their this new wave of punk rock attitude, many people get pissed, but they were like our good father. If I have to name a band that it's amazing, as we gotta thank, is everything about the Senza Benza, no doubt.
I for me, what I first heard, so here in the United States, we had a website that was incredibly influential to a lot of Ramones core kids. It was called Interpunk, and it was once amazing, and apparently now they just rip people off, is what I'm hearing. it's very infamous now, but there was a time when they had all the great Ramones core stuff, and so through them I discovered Retarded, which, by the way, Retarded blew my mind how fucking good it was. There's a record, and I can't remember. It's got like a black cover with yellow. I think it's their first record.
Yeah.
It is so brilliant in that it's like sloppy, but it's rock and roll sloppy. It's not like shitty, but it's like they didn't give too much of a shit about being perfect. They just went in there and kind of slammed that record out. That record for me is monumental. The Manges obviously fucking mind blowing too, but I also love this band, the High School Dropouts, which picked a bunch of their shit up on Interpunk too, and it was like, I remember one of their dudes had the straight up Johnny Ramone pudding bowl haircut, and like, I saw their picture and I was like, yeah, I like this band. I don't know what they sound like, but I know I'm gonna like them. You know?
Yeah. I used to buy a lot of stuff from Interpunk actually, and right now I just remember that I bought a Retarded T-shirt from Interpunk because it was during the time that they weren't playing anymore, so I found it in Interpunk for maybe $3 or $4.
Is it better retarded than emo?
Yeah, exactly. That one.
I have that one, and I have one that looks like a Budweiser logo. I bought that shirt from Interpunk too.
Yeah, it was maybe $3 or $5. So I said, well, that's cheap, you know. It's cheaper probably than I found from the band because they weren't playing anymore. They just reunited maybe right before the pandemic or maybe something later. You know, I don't remember, but I'm so happy that they are back on doing new stuff. Now they have a new guitar player that he's a very good one. He's a friend of mine, and I can't wait to see what they are doing now. It's just amazing that all these whole bands, you know, the Manges were actually the only band that never call it quits, even for a short period. They always went straight playing. Not, I think it's been a long time since they did like a proper long tour, like weeks and weeks going on. But they were always there. The Retarded splitted maybe for 10 years or something like that. Same Stinky Podcasts, maybe more. And you know, all these bands are going back and doing new stuff and new music. The world just can be better, you know, in my opinion.
And this is weird. I never got to ask you about this when I was there and when we were chatting. We spent a lot of time together, but we were sort of busy the whole time. But like, have you seen a lot of new Ramones core bands forming, or is it just old bands getting back together? Because I don't see too many new I don't see too many young Ramones core bands. I see a lot of old dudes starting new Ramones core bands.
Well, to be honest, there are bands popping up here and there, but like young kids playing new music, you know, old stuff music. I would say actually right now there is only this band called UFO doing. They are from Milan. They are good guys. I booked that show for. They played that show together with us with the Ratbones. It was in November with the D-Cracks. They had a different name. They are young kids. They are between. I mean, it's young compared to us because they are 23 or maybe 24 years old, you know. But compared to us, or to me, that I'm almost 39, they are young kids for me. There are no young bands at all, you know. Just getting older, you know. It's everything about the rap, the trap music now. It's I don't want to be unpolite, but you know, the kiss goes where the pussy is, you know. And punk rock and pussies never meant to be together, you know. Sorry for being so unpolite, but I guess you know the point.
And I think too, I don't know if you think this is maybe what happened, but I don't think kids are as pissed off as they used to be. Like, things are getting better in terms of like maybe like, I don't know, things are getting more accepting and more inclusive. I look at kids now, like kids who are in their 20s or kids who are younger, 15 and up, and it's like their friend groups are so diverse, and they're seems like they have lots of people where when I was growing up, you were either a punk, you were a metalhead, you were a jock, you were a fucking nerd. It was like the Breakfast Club. Whereas now, so of course you became like one with people like you, which is why punks became punks and metalheads became metalheads. Like, if you're walking down, through the mall and you see a dude in a leather jacket with a Ramones shirt, you're like, that dude's safe. That guy I can hang out with. Versus, I don't know about these other guys. It's not like that now. And, I mean, I guess that's good. But part of me thinks that also means that, maybe kids don't need punk rock like they used to. But that doesn't mean they won't always, because shit comes back around. I don't know how metal has remained so vibrant. And Andrea, I know you've been going to a few more metal shows here and there. It's like, what is it about metal that seems like it never, ever, ever dies? I don't understand versus punk. There's a lot of young kids in metal.
Doug Taylor is right. Maybe this is the reason.
Yeah,
we had to fight back then to have a porno mag. So they have just all these websites. I don't know if I can name them. So you have internet on your phone. You just need to write an address, and that's it. You can have all the porn for you. Yeah, you're right, Dak.
I think that regarding metal, the metal fans are more into devotion about the genre. I also see, I have this example. We had some black metal band from Eastern Europe, and we did a show because we needed on a day off, and we couldn't put a ticket on, but it was like free offer. And metalheads came in, and it was like 10 euros, 20 euros. Instead, if you go to a punk show, they're just like, they don't even want to pay 3 euros to get in. So I guess that's the spirit that kept metal going like it is now compared to punk rock. I mean,
it always happened with tickets at €5 price that people can we get in together for €5? I mean, two for €5. I always said there are like 3 bands playing, so it's less than €2 each one. And if you think in each band there are at least 4 band members, we are giving 50 cents to everybody. So if you don't want to pay €5 for the ticket, you can get out. I don't fucking care. €5 doesn't change my life, but your life sucks if you don't want to pay.
And
think about the bands that are playing that.
Yeah, and if you look at it, and I think maybe you're onto something as far as valuing devotion. Like, if you look at going to buy, I went to my local record store today, right? I went to my local record store today, and I purchased a record for $32, and it was no different than the packaging and content of this record, which on Mom's Basement is $20. And and I don't, my thoughts have been for a little while is like, look, man, I'm okay with the next. And I told John Prophet this about our next full length, not our next reissue, but I was like, I think our next full length is going to be $25, and it's going to be better packaging and shit. But it's like, as prices go up, punks tend to think like, we better keep it down there. But I think there is something to being like, look, man, we're all putting a lot of hard work into this stuff. Like, when we started playing shows with like the Queers and the Dickies, we would get to the show and they'd be like, how much are t-shirts? And I was always like, well, how much are the Dickies charging? Because we're charging the same. Obviously, we are not the Dickies, but you know what? If you put your shit down there as a super low price, people go, they're not worth nothing. So it's like, whatever they're charging, we're charging, I mean, and let's be honest, you run a label, you're not making any money, right? I mean, no, I know John from Mom's Basement is not like making money, and it's like, records should be $25, man. I mean, that's how I feel about it. That's my thing. And it's not because I want to make money either. It's just like, we need to value the music and the like art that we're all doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan of a million bands. I don't bat an eye if they ask me to pay $25 for the record because I want to support them.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, there's an increase of the costs in the production of the vinyl and stuff, and people don't get it.
No, it's just because everything, I collaborate with the pressing plant where also V came with me the same day they arrived in Italy. We went to, I don't remember which record we took while there. I don't remember. It was something for John, I think. Oh, yeah, it was the Jerks 7-inch, I think. So, the prices are changing. I'm trying to put the cheapest possible the price for the records that I sell, but I don't make any money. I'm just satisfied when I can get even, or I can make some little money like I did with the Jason. I might be honest, I'm not stupid. The record is going pretty good. I covered all the costs. The record is going good, but all the monies that I made with the label, I always use to release more records. So if I'm if I'm selling a records for 15 euros now that came from the USA, and you complain that you are paying 15 euros for a record, you are just stupid, because usually you pay just $35 just to ship one record.
Yeah.
And I gotta pay the band, I gotta pay the label with the same money. And if I earn 2 or 3 euro from selling a records, and you want a discount, you're not part of my scene, of my world, because you don't understand what's the meaning. I'm lucky that I have a good job, that I don't need to make money over a band like Jason. But if I'm doing this, it's just because I have fun doing this. I love to support them. It was, for me, it blew my mind that a good band like the Jason didn't have like a European label taking care of this stuff. I said, I'm gonna do it. I can tell you, it's not a secret that I'm selling also the previous albums from the Jason in my web store. I'm giving to them almost all the money that I'm making, and just taking a little percentage just to pay the PayPal fees, the shipping costs, and that's it. Because I said, I need to help this guy to come here and make good music,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, before this past record, like, again, our this record, this Blood in the Streets, we did that on our own, with our own money, and we pressed it, and we didn't know how to do it, so we probably paid twice as much as we should have to press it. And it was because we didn't trust labels, right? Because we had a lot of offers, but it would be like this: hey, we want to work with you. And I'd be like, cool, what are the terms? And they'd be like, we'll put your CD out. And I was like, we can fucking do that, get out of here, right? So then we met John Prophet, and he he basically did label shit. He said, I want to put your record out on vinyl. He said, I want to promote your band. I have an audience. And so we decided to work with him. We trusted him, and it came out well. And then he told me, oh, I buy records. These are good dudes. And so, and then, we had already connected, but we reconnected, and you and John Prophet essentially have kept our band going, especially during the pandemic. I mean, we couldn't do anything. So, like, labels that do label shit is like super important, and we didn't understand distribution and stuff. Like, we didn't know how to do that stuff. So, it's a huge fucking deal for us. And again, like, we're not super interested in making a ton of money either. We want the band to run itself. But the fact that somebody in Italy can hold a physical copy of a Jason's record is like a big deal for us, and same thing with, I think his name's Kazu, Waterslide Records, he does some of our stuff over in Japan, and like, you know, I mean, if anybody wants proof that your band, my band, everybody else, if we really cared about making money, we wouldn't be on streaming, right? We would be like, you got to buy the record, because, you know, streaming, Spotify, nobody makes money from that, right? But,
Nah.
so it's like people can hear it anywhere they want, but if you want to own a copy, if you want to support, it's like it's out there for you on vinyl. And yeah, man, I mean, we were really distrustful of labels big time, but you and you know, John Prophet have, you know, renewed our faith, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you have a label and you're not doing vinyl, then you're just pretending. That's the truth. Anybody,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I tried to sell also a little bit of CDs here and there, but most of the business is just with the full length now, because even the 7 inches is not so good, you know, because the costs now for the 7 inches are stupid, are crazy, and doesn't make sense, you know, for a band or for a label, earn like maybe $1, €1, whatever it is. The money just, you know, with all the effort you need to do it, because, you know, you gotta put out, you know, you need to go to the studio to record the songs, and then you know, press the vinyl, wait years and years to be ready, and then selling for €6 or €7, and the people is pissed because they are selling for €6, and then you can earn maybe €1, and in the end it doesn't make sense anymore. The big deal now is just the LPs. The people are buying, you know, buying a 7 inch just to fill in the order. That's it.
Yeah, and I feel, as somebody who listens to records, I don't buy 7 inches because I don't want to flip the record after 2 songs. I'm lazy. You know, so I'll buy a 7 inch if I really love the band, but I'm never going to listen to it. Just like I still buy cassettes. Guess what I do with those? I just fucking set them on the shelf. I don't listen to that shit.
Yeah, it's the same for me, you know. I have many 7 inches at times, but I just maybe spin one or twice, you know. That's it. Then it's better just to listen to LPs, usually during on Sunday or Saturday morning when I'm home, you know, just and going around the home. I just listen to the music. I have like a huge pile of records to listen right now, and it's just amazing. You know, the vinyl is something that have another feeling, you know, another point of view. I think sometimes I just get too sentimental about that, but you know, when you hold a vinyl, is something that is totally different from the CDs or whatever, you know.
When I held my first copy of one of our records in my hand, it felt like we had done something that was important, because I know, like, you know, I started playing music, like really started playing music in like 2006 with my other band, and which I think John Prophet is going to release pretty soon. Um, but with that band, I sat down on the first day that I came up with that band, and I wrote out all the stuff that the band was going to be. And I said, we only release music on vinyl, like the Mummies. Well, that never happened. So all these years later, when we finally released our first LP as the Jasons, like I felt like it was like, okay, we like came up one rung on the ladder, you know. And for a lot of bands, I think that is like, I've met people that said, you know, my only goal is to put something out on vinyl and then I can quit music forever. You know, that's not me. I'm like, I want to put everything out on vinyl and play music until I'm dead. But that's a milestone. You know, that is a milestone.
Yeah.
And also a milestone is working with, you know, a label overseas. I mean, obviously, you know, like when I did the first Jason's record, I messaged a few labels and a few people were like, nah, we're not interested. And, you know, so now to be able to say like, oh, we've worked with a label overseas, that's fucking cool for us, because we didn't know we would ever get to do that, you know?
Yeah, I think the same for is the same also for me, because I remember the first time I put out something on vinyl with my previous band, even before joining the Ratbones. I remember when we did the 7 inch. And I remember somebody that bought the records. I said, "This is not possible." It was for me in the beginning like I fooled someone, that is buying my music. I was so excited, and now when I get an order on the website and there is anything from the Ratbones scene, I just sending a few 7 inches from the actually everything except the last album from the Ratbones in Singapore. I said, this is not possible. I'm so happy and excited that the music that I play with the band that they are my friends. It's not just the band. I said, wow, our music is getting somehow in Singapore. It's crazy. I think I'm always the little kids from Calabria doing music for fun with music with my friends.
Yeah, and even like the collaboration that we did on that record, like to me that's a cool, like, crazy thing too, because when you think about the fact that like we lived so far apart and we were able to make that stuff work. I have like a section of my record collection that's all the shit that I've done, and I put your record on that section because I'm like, yo, I had a little tiny part on that, and it was weird because like Italian Ramones Corps production is so vastly different than what it is in the United States. Like that, for me, the Italian punk sound is not just the music, the style, the approach; it's the production. So it's very weird hearing my voice in Italian production style, and it was super cool. And I was like, very novel for me. I kept listening to it. I was just like, wow, like it's a different vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, and when Ludo wrote that song, he wasn't very happy about that. I said, man, this is a great song. It's actually my favorite song on the album, even if he doesn't think it's the same. I said, I killed Didi Ramon. Who can sing that song? Because he said, I don't want to put out that song. I said, man, this is a great song. And you know what? I'm going to ask to Jason V to sing on that song. And actually, right now, it's the most played song on streaming or... I don't know if it's just because I think it's most because of you, but the song, I really love the song. It's one of my favorite in the album, and I'm glad that you sung on that.
It's the power of Didier Ramon. Didier Ramon is like a magnet that's over.
Yeah, that title's pretty striking too. You're like, well, I need to hear this. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's easy, to sell if you name Didi Ramon. You're just curious. And actually, we didn't get sued, of course, like you did. But if you check on streaming services, we can't call the song I Killed Didi Ramon. We got to put I Killed DDR because the streaming platforms, we can't use a popular name to name a song. As I said, I wrote them. I said, man, we call it the song I Killed Didi Ramon. Why I can't call like this, And they said, no, you can't. Now you killing.
Yeah, because our song on Blood in the Streets is I jacked off, and they never took it down. I don't know why we didn't get in trouble for that, because it was jacking off to Didi, but you killed Didi and you guys got in trouble. I don't know.
They just said you can use that name. I said we are not killing Didi Ramon. He's already he died already. We just call it's like a song for him.
Yeah.
And
So now,
they said no.
Nowadays, like you killed DDR. It's like killed East Germany.
Yeah. Because of that, we can't use the name Didi Ramon. I said, okay, that's it. There is only one Didi in the world that makes sense to me. So if our listeners or the punk rockers know who we are and who Didi is and was, they know who we are talking about, the real deal.
Yeah. Yo, for the record, the best Ratbones songs are Crown of Spines and Johnny Lawrence, by the way.
Thank you. Nah, I really love also Killer Didi. You know, we always had, since I joined the band, we always had guests in our album, you know, because I think it's funny to have like, and also paying respect to have a guest in the album. It's funny, you know, because you can make better connection and building relationship, and having you, it was very funny. We always collaborated with Jimmy Vapid. That for me, he is my guru. You know, he is my musical guru. I can talk about music with him for days, not hours, because he knows so many things, and he has so many stories about the Ramones and everything. And we said, okay, maybe not always Jimmy Vapid. We gotta change our guest. So you were the first option, and so glad we did it. You know.
Yeah.
And
it was always for me like that. I mean, because being a songwriter and letting somebody else sing your song, like that's a pretty fucking big deal. And that's also like it shows that your singer is not, he doesn't have any like ego shit, because like that's a big fucking deal, man. You write a song, you let someone else sing it. That's like letting somebody like fuck your girlfriend or something. That's a huge
will you do it?
What would I would I write a song and let somebody sing it?
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what? I don't know. I'd have to think about that one, man, because when I'm writing a song, they become pretty precious, and I don't want anybody to fuck my girlfriend. But I don't know. We'll see. I would now. Would I feature a member of Ratbones on one of our songs in a very prominent role, singing part of a song? Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Would I give up the entire lead vocal? I don't know. That would be tough for me. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. So, I mean, my ego must be bigger and more out of control than your singer's, because he's just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, man.
So even if Mortuary Drape singer.
Oh,
So his name is Wildness Perversion, by the way.
Yeah.
If I could collaborate with him, if Mortuary Drape singer wanted to sing a pop punk song in whatever crazy universe that was, I might let him do it. But I feel like I'm safe from that one. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But yeah, I would let Walter, aka Wildness Perversion, mate.
Okay, let's make a game. Let's make a game. I will ask him for your next album. Said, do you wanna sing for the Jason just one song, even a little part? You know,
Yeah.
Why not? You know,
you
like
never know.
you know, if you have a studio or something, you know, it's easier now. It's not like 10 years ago that if you gotta sing a song or even for a guest spot, you need to go to a proper studio. If you have like this small audio device that you can buy for $20 now, $200, sorry.
Yeah.
You can record everything at home, like we did when you came here. We did those Gigi Allen songs that we gotta release.
Well, he's also a drummer too, so maybe he could do a little Tommy Ramone action. You know, no.
I think he's gonna get crazy just to listen, Ramon score stuff, playing one kick drum, and then they used to play
Yeah. I mean, stranger things have happened, so you never know. When we saw that show, I got to also hand it to you, because you basically jumped over the rail and got that list for me, and we've not chatted. Here, I'll show you. I hung the set list that you got for me right here on my wall. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
So going towards to the end of a live, we normally ask the guests if they have some records to suggest to anyone who's listening or who will watch this show on YouTube, because I'm going to upload it tomorrow. And you said you went to the record store earlier. What did you bought? What did you buy? Sorry.
So I went to the record store earlier. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it out.
Yeah, sure.
if I can fucking find it. There we go. So I went to the record store earlier and I purchased 2 records by a band called Vengeance Sorcery.
Okay.
Vengeance Sorcery came out on Nuclear War Now Productions. They are like primitive Barathrum worship. So it's a drummer and a bass player, very primeval, very primitive. That's it. And
No guitars?
no guitars. If you
Wow.
like really, really like, I'm gonna say this, but understand it's a good thing. Shitty in a good way. Primitive black metal, death metal. Vengeance Sorcery is a good band. I also, this makes me seem like a poser, but I'll tell you anyway. I purchased this classic Dark Throne.
Oh well, yeah, that's a good one.
Moon. Everybody should have. I should have already had this, but I'll be honest. I don't fucking jam on Dark Throne too much. I'm not a big Scandinavian black metal guy, but I got this because it's a reissue from Peaceville Records. So yeah, those were my purchases today. And if I'm giving recommendations to my friends in Italy, also let me just go ahead and say that the band Mortuary Drape that we've chatted about recently re-released on Peaceville Records their greatest record, which is called Secret Sudaria. And it's available from the band. I had to import it and pay a fuck ton of money to get that special edition. But you guys could probably like walk down the street and go to my man's house and get it. So there's no guys not picking that up.
Oh yeah. If it's my time now, I will suggest. I just got from the Australia, the Remingtons.
Oh,
They are very good band. I have a couple records that I will sell in the next day in Albi Record Store. They are great band from my good friend Craig from Australia. He's a very good guy. He's very funny to talk to him, and we have like a good connection. I really would love to see the Remingtons playing in Raduno. So, Franz Andre, if you're listening, get the.
You want Remington, you want the Jasons. So
Yeah. Of course. The Jason is something that is gonna happen. It's just a matter of, I don't know if I can say months. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And then I just got on Friday I got the Apers box set, but it's just downstairs. I got from Stardom Record that, of course, is probably the best European label ever, in my opinion. I got the box set. Doug Taylor wanna be your roadie.
Yo, no roadie for Dak. The only way Dak Taylor can be our roadie is if he sends us a video of himself sucking his own penis.
Well,
yeah, but Dak, you can be Ratbones. You don't need to suck your penis. Anyhow, and then the Apers box set, it's like a real milestone for punk rock. For European punk rock, so I will suggest this record. And then, of course, Jason Gets You, that you can find here at buyrecords.it, because I buy records. I have,
you need to
27 or 28. It's almost sold out. It's just a matter of time.
Including mine?
Yeah, including your. It's just because now I'm getting orders from the USA because
it's sold out there, so they want to.
It's sold out. I think they just slept on this because when you put out records, if you really love the band and you wanna get these limited records because we pressed 400 copies, you gotta run out. You gotta be fast. You can't sleep on this. If you want a records, if you gotta spend, you gotta be fast. That's it. And now I'm getting orders from the USA, and I no problem to send records in the USA, but it's really a pain in the ass because I gotta fill a lots of papers to send even a stupid records, like 3 invoices, one free export declaration, then attaching my ID, my tax code, and stuff like that. It's just a pain in the ass for me. So that's why I asked it to John if he was sold out or not. So I said, okay, I'm gonna send. Just just a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna do it. So hold on, USA people, the records are coming.
Perfect. So you have a new record in the making?
Yes. I would love to tell you about the new record. The new record. Hopefully we'll have something at least out for press by the end of this year. Our new record is called Satan Cells, and it's probably the next logical continuation of Blood in the Streets. It's playing with the idea of marketing and the idea that a lot of bands today use edginess to market themselves, use upside down crosses, all the shit that I love that Motley Crue did, all the shit that I love that all these dorky black metal bands do. But it's really not an album about that. It's like, hence, all the satanic imagery on my mask. It's really just a record about marketing edginess. It's a record about how funny it is to me and to the rest of the Jasons that, in 2023, every bored 40-year-old mom is doing fake witch photo shoots with her kids, and every dude is wearing a Black Craft t-shirt that says "Hail Satan, eat pizza." Like, I find that ridiculous. I miss the days when Satan was evil and dangerous and we thought that people were being sacrificed. We know it wasn't true, but I love those days. It's still a Ramones core record, by far still a Ramones core record, but we're putting a little bit of Wasp in there, a little bit of Kiss in there. We went into the studio and recorded some demos. We did about 5 demos. It's probably going to have 13 songs or so. And our goal in releasing that record and our, going forward is we want to do like the equivalent to like an arena show in little punk rock bars. So we're doing like fucking spark shooting, like fucking cannons and fog and big signs and everything over the top. No chainsaws, but we're definitely intentionally jumping the shark. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term, but
yeah,
like Fonzie.
Like Fonzie. Everything's gonna be big. Everything's going to be ridiculous. And we just, we want to bring that like arena feel to like small punk clubs because it's absurd and it doesn't make any sense. And we're bored, and that's fun. So Satan Cells, that's going to be our new record. We're going to start playing the title track at some live shows, hopefully soon. But yeah, we're just super excited. We needed an axe to grind, and so now we're picking on fake Satanists. We're picking on the political action Satanists because those aren't any fun either. We want evil and darkness, even if none of us believe in any of that stuff.
Yeah. That's the secret.
Yeah.
So, Jason, thank you very much for coming here live. I'm following you on Instagram, so we'll keep in touch because I write for an Italian webzine. So when the album will be out, I'll be making the review or another interviews. Who knows? So thanks to you e thanks to Andrea, ovviamente. Grazie per aver organizzato tutto questo. Molto bello. Ecco, abbiamo fa pubblicità a lui per voi. Bene, noi Vox ci vediamo tra 2 lunedì ormai.
Sì,
prossima settimana con la prossima puntata, sempre dalle 7 alle 8:30, Radio Onde Furlane. Se ci conoscete sapete già tutte le direttive, ve le ripetiamo ogni puntata, ogni diretta, ogni tutto, però vabbè.
In ogni pagina. Quindi, thank you so much.
Quindi,
ad all.
ciao a tutti.
There are
Good night.
Dario Argento, ciao.